Last time on Shadow Peaks, we learned about Absalom's past, how he killed his own flesh and blood, his brother, but only in revenge for his sister, his father, and his mother. And that was how Absalom became the man he is now, and the man who will fight against Queen the Plague from the Beast Pirates, the second in command of the Strawhat Pirates against the third in command of the Beast Pirates, who will turn out to be the victor of this battle. All of this you will learn in this episode of Shadow Peaks, a true monster. Absalom ran all the way to the pleasure hall. Even though subconscious, his purpose still led him here in this place. He looked behind him, worried if Queen was already behind there. Luckily, the room was clear, but his carelessness resulted in him running into another person. Charlotte Sanji was standing there, talking with the geisha Osome. Not flirting, as Sanji is loyal to his new wife Pudding, but instead he is asking for his mother-in-law Big Mom. And even though Sanji is married and is loyal to his wife Pudding, he is still a gentleman who is interested in all women. Plus, Sanji also wants to help all the women, the geisha around here, to evacuate to safety because there is a raid going on and it is quite dangerous for all of these civilians. However, Queen, who was stalking Absalom with his stealth function, saw both the Dark Messiah and also noticed Sanji's trademark Windsmoke eyebrows. Additionally, Queen also had a bad pulse with Osome, because she kept rejecting his advances, so he snuck up on her and attacked. Before Sanji or Absalom even knew it, the girl was suddenly sent flying and started bleeding. The two blonde fighters left her with the other geishas, but they all thought Sanji was responsible, as Absalom was still invisible and Queen himself is also invisible. So they only thought Sanji out of nowhere attacked this woman while he was talking with her. In the short time Sanji was inside of Onigashima, he already felt weird. He had trained with other Charlotte family members and grown a lot stronger. The guidance from Katakuri, Smoothie, Snack, Cracker and all the other people have made him a stronger person. But something also changed inside of him, because some other times he also assisted the Whole Cake Island scientist squad, going as far as transforming into his raid suit form for them to analyze the Germa technology of the suit. But this has changed him a bit. Sanji is scared that he is going to turn into his brothers. After using the raid suit multiple times, he has noticed some changes in his mind, and also moments in which he acts completely unlike himself. So obviously because of that, Sanji thinks he had a lapse in memory and that he actually was the person that attacked Osome. And in this moment he doesn't even think that there could be some other solution for this situation. Shortly after Sanji has his mental breakdown, Queen reveals himself and starts talking with the Windsmoke son. He wants to say a few things about the Windsmoke family. This is also the situation where Sanji reveals to Queen that the Windsmoke family actually doesn't really exist anymore, because they have been completely destroyed by the Big Mom pirate crew. Now, the question is, Sanji is still alive, so the Windsmoke family genes are not really gone yet. And we talked about this in the Whole Cake Island part of this series, that Sanji could also have potentially said that Reiju should survive, because his sister was never as cruel as her brothers, and she was always nice to him, so maybe Reiju also survived. Maybe she's already married to one of the Charlotte family's sons. I don't know if Oven already has a wife, but I feel like Oven is cool. While this conversation was going on, Absalom was able to rip off a bit of woman's clothing, use them as bandages around his cut-off arm. He also really liked seeing this woman in a bit less clothing. Talking with Queen made Sanji more sure about his assumption. The raid suit is actually the thing that altered his body by awakening his latent modifications that weren't awakened at his birth. Sanji was about to destroy the raid suit when it disappeared when he threw it on the ground. Shortly after, Sanji also felt a hand over his mouth. Absalom grabbed both the raid suit before Sanji could destroy it and Sanji himself, and made them invisible as well. In all this time, while Sanji and Queen were talking about the raid suit, German technology, Judge, the mad scientist group, and all of these different things, Absalom has managed to calm down a bit. He is still scared at this moment, but he has to win. And he knows that it is possible. He has already hurt Queen a bit, and he knows that he can handle this if he is just focused enough. Now with Sanji here, he also has found a potential ally, so he thinks that there is a chance for them together to defeat Queen. Absalom's Devil Fruit, combined with his now normalized again Haki, made it harder for Queen to find them, but it was only a matter of time until the All-Star would find the two intruders. Slowly, Absalom removed his hand from Sanji but kept it on his shoulders. Hey, boy, I assume you are a member of Big Mom. She's kind of on our side, so you should help me against that guy. Sanji is not stupid. But even though Absalom is not telling him the full truth, he knows that Queen is dangerous. Plus, if he captures him, he might be able to learn more about the Windsmoke's past. However, even though Sanji's first idea was helping Absalom, he hesitated. No, I can't help you. If I fight anymore, I will turn into a cold-hearted monster, like my family. Absalom looks at him and just says, "Who cares?" This leaves Sanji in shock. This is a major situation for him, and this guy he just met, all he has to say is, "Who cares?" I mean, changing into a horrible monster is the worst that could ever happen to somebody, so Sanji wants to further explain his situation. My father modified me in the past, but my mother saved me from becoming like my brothers. But if I change now, it is like everything was for nothing. I already lost the people important to me from my first family. If I change, I don't want to be responsible for any deaths to people important to me now. I don't want to become a monster. Once again, Absalom just looks at him, kinda weirded out. I know that you are younger than me, but are you also stupid? Sanji was about to get angry when Absalom just continued talking. You don't want to become like your brothers? Then don't. In the end, it's all up to your own effort. Listen to me, I speak from experience. I became a monster when my family got killed, and I was in a very dark place, but my captain, he saved me. At first, I remembered how to relax because of him, but I recently returned to activity, and now I'm a monster once again to fulfill his wishes. Just become a heroic monster that protects whatever you hold dear, and never let it go too far, or something might happen to it. Your family, your heritage, your bloodline, nothing out of it determines who you are, or what you can become. Absalom points at Sanji's heart. It doesn't matter what your father gave you, all that matters is how you use it. And even if you fall into the darkness, as long as there's a single light, you have the power to come back. Absalom thinks back to his sister's last word. I don't want to lose you. And the last thing he says to Sanji is, and sometimes you need to remind yourself of what is truly important. What you are willing to lose to protect or help your family. Because family is who you choose to call family. Blood never matters. Now, let's destroy this oversized lizard. Join me. Sanji is surprised. This man just made him realize a lot about himself. He now has a new family. The Charlotte family welcomed him, even though they knew he was a member of the Windsmokes. They trained him, they cooked together with him. Pudding really likes him. Maybe actually can say she loves him. She is his wife after all. So now he has these people he wants to protect. And he knows that if something happens to him, they are there to stop him. Now he has found his new resolve, and Sanji says, okay, lion guy, if I can't move or I act like a killing machine after this battle, take care of me. Absalom nods before removing his invisibility, showing Queen that the battle is about to continue. Sanji transforms with his raid suit capsule and ignites his leg on fire. Instead of Diablo Jumbo as in the canon version, this Sanji has named the attack Flaming Pudding, as a show of his love for pudding. Absalom follows with his own technique. He covers himself in a full-body armament haki and goes on his 3 remaining limbs, calling it monster style. Both turn invisible, and with their high-speed attacks, they hurt Queen with attacks called Lactobacillus Shot and Archdemon Cannon. I guess you can know which one is used by Sanji and which one is used by Absalom. Queen gets hit and crashes into the wall, spurting out a lot of blood in the process. However, Queen soon gets back up and fires a laser at the 2 blondes. Both of them manage to dodge the attack, but Queen follows up quickly with a Sparking Queen, which Sanji barely manages to dodge once again. However, the next Henry Queen connects with Sanji, giving Queen the opportunity to rush attack Sanji with more Sparking Queens. This is the moment where Sanji notices that Queen is using attacks that are based all around the different members of the Windsmoke family. Sanji gets pummeled to the ground, as Queen starts talking about the already perfected Germa technology, proving Sanji's fault, and defeating Sanji will be the final proof that he surpassed Judge and the Windsmoke family. But in this moment of Queen flexing on Judge, the Plague apparently already forgot about Absalom being there, and gets hit by a 100% power attack from Absalom called Genesis Buster. As Queen crashes through multiple walls, Absalom helps Sanji back on his feet and shouts to Queen, It is sad that even in your age you are still trying to prove your superiority. This young man is his own person. Meet up with his dad if that's who you want to meet so desperately. Sanji quickly adds on to that, yeah, if you want to see Judge, I can help you. 1 express meal ticket, straight to hell. Suddenly Sanji gets grabbed by Queen's extendable arms and attacked by Winch Queen. However, the Charlotte husband breaks the machine part with an attack called Van Dyke Strike. This opens some space between him and Queen. Then Sanji jumps up and down over and over again with both of his feet. And while doing so, he also cracks his neck, preparing for his next move. Once he has jumped up and down a few times, he activates his invisibility. Plus his super high movement speed makes it hard for Queen to detect him with his observation haki. Queen starts feeling Sanji's attacks, but they don't hurt him too much. This Sanji doesn't have as much experience as the canon Sanji, even though he trained with people like Cracker, Smoothie, Katakuri, Snack, and maybe other strong people like Overn to learn these fire-based attacks. He is still not as strong as the actual Wano country saga Sanji that we know from the anime or manga. Queen just wanted to wait out the attacks until Sanji is exhausted. Meanwhile, Absalom felt weird. Maybe it was just the blood loss from his arm, but for some reason he felt stronger than ever, like something inside of him awakened. Maybe his really cool speech that he is really proud of himself has made him become a true monster, more proud of himself and stronger than ever. Just then, Chuji the Red appeared in the seemingly empty battlefield, as all 3 of the fighters are invisible. They all didn't know that something was going on there. Chuji was followed shortly after by Osome, who was once again looking for her pet rat. Queen, still petty about her rejections, approaches her while invisible and plans to attack her once again. With his own observation haki, Sanji can see this and gets enraged. Now he understands that he never attacked the woman. It was always the dinosaur man. He is still the true gentleman that he always wanted to be, that Zeph taught him to be. By combining his armament haki, his new top speed, his exoskeleton, and the raid suit's power boost, he performs a new attack, upgrading his flaming pudding into pudding d'amour. This attack does not only show his burning love for Pudding, his wife, but also the electrical sparks of their love. The wooden walls and floor quickly start burning. Sanji chains a series of kicks together, culminating in an attack called Rimmelyage Burst. All of his prior attacks barely damaged Queen. The most he achieved was knocking back the plague, but this time a crack could be heard. Sanji laughs. This was a bit harder than cracking an egg. He thinks it's over. Queen's body is lumped over and his spine seems to be broken. However, a few seconds later, Queen's arm reached back and slammed towards Osome. Just barely could Sanji react in time, throwing his own body in front of the attack and saving the woman with his action. But he falls unconscious on the ground, being too hurt to move anymore. Osome and her rat scream in fear as she leans over Sanji, looking after him, making sure that he's still alive. Absalom turns visible again and talks towards Sanji. I told you, boy, this suit doesn't make you a monster. Your actions decide what you are, and you are a true hero. He gives his head to the woman, saying, please hold this. I will be right back. Then he winks at her and talks towards Queen. Hey Queen, it's time to finish this once and for all. From here on out, you won't even know what hit you. Queen laughs. What a stupid statement, as if this mediocre imitation of a monster could defeat him. Queen is the real monster here. He's the true monster, not anybody else. Queen is a dinosaur, a Brachiosaurus. He's the second commander of the Beast Pirates and the third in command of the Beast Pirates. He has been there since the time with Odin. He is a true monster and nobody else. But as soon as Absalom actually activates his vanishing powers once again, the All-Star panics. Normally he could still feel Absalom or Sanji, even when they're invisible. It was only because of their high-speed movements that he was having a hard time spotting them. These very fast techniques made them appear in many different locations at once, but now it's like Absalom is nowhere. It's like he's not even in the pleasure hall. It's like nothing is there. Queen looks around desperately trying to find Absalom, but then, first hit, Queen puts his hand on his stomach after being hit there by Absalom. Second hit, Queen touches the back of his head when he feels a kick from Absalom against it. Third hit, Queen loses standing and falls on his knees when Absalom pulls back his feet and pushes him on the ground. Forfeit. Queen face crashes into the ground when Absalom jumps up and crashes with both of his knees in the back of Queen's head. And then there's a pause. Absalom for a moment stops attacking Queen, as he himself feels weird. Why is Queen not reacting to anything? What's different? How did something change? In this time Queen manages to get back up. He felt Absalom's attack, they hurt him, but the Dark Messiah was nowhere to be seen. Instead of just trying to find Absalom, who is just not there anymore, he now wants to go for the unconscious Sanji, expecting Absalom to come to save this boy. And that exactly happened, but not as Queen wanted it to. You are pathetic. To think I was scared earlier. I'm disgusted of myself. If this gentleman is today's hero, I will become today's monster. Queen the Plague. Feel the wrath of a true monster. Here, take this. And now Absalom shows his ultimate attack, the strongest he can perform at this moment. The attack called Savage Messiah's Revelation. Out of nothing, Absalom's greatest attack appears, pummeling Queen from every single direction, before finally sending him flying outside of Onigashima, and finishing the battle. Battle in the Pleasure Hall. Winner, the Dark Messiah Absalom, assisted by Sweet Leg Sanji. After Absalom finished the battle, he made himself visible again. He looks at Sanji with a proud face. It's like he sees himself from the past in Sanji. However, his entire mind is just filled with his sister. Now that he has grown powerful enough to be at the top, he feels like he actually made her proud. Absalom cries while Osoma approaches him. Carefully she walks towards the Dark Messiah. She wants to return his head, when the Filler Bar commander collapsed from exhaustion. But he's still standing. Still standing there, crying, heavily bleeding from his arm, but he also has a huge smile on his face. This surprised the girl, not having noticed how serious the situation of this man was. She immediately called for medical help from all of the other women. Together with all the beautiful geisha, they all took care of Absalom and Sanji. If those two were conscious, they would really enjoy this moment. But that's the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I really hope you enjoyed this fight between Sanji, Absalom, and Queen, because this is one of the final fights of this arc. We all know that we're slowly but surely approaching the end of the Wano arc, even in this version. If you want to get a chapter equivalent, if we were to read the manga of One Piece, I think we are at chapter 1035 right now, and One Piece is only at 1056 or something, so we are pretty close here in Shadow Piece. But this is nowhere close to the end of the actual series, because I still have a lot of original stuff that is going to happen after the Wano arc. And for that, I hope you will look forward to it. And to not miss any of these further episodes, why don't you consider clicking on the like button and the subscribe button, because I upload at least 2 videos a week, and they are all quite interesting to watch if I say so myself. But that's all from me for today, and we will see each other again in the next episode. All that's left to be said for me is stay healthy, stay happy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out.